Yo, 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 welcome back to Brandon Smooth TV. I am back at you with another review. Of course, I did a reaction video to the new Mortal Kombat 2021. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it. It's a video game movie, and the original Mortal Kombat movie that came out years ago, the live adaptation, it's kind of reviewed, widely as the best, video game movie adaptation. So with this one, it had to change a lot of things. And what I had to do, because I'm such a fan of the original one, that was in my childhood, we grew up with it, I had to separate myself from the original movie and this movie and not try to compare them, which is super hard because typically you compare stuff to stuff that's similar or older to see, if it's good or not. So the best thing about this movie was the story in between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. It was the backstory, it was the basis, it was the foundation for this movie. The opening scene was awesome. It was sad, and you can really feel the pain in the actor that plays Scorpion's character. Also, the guy that plays Sub-Zero was just amazing. He was phenomenal. A lot of the times, not in the opening scene, but like when they have the mask on, a lot of people, you have to emote and you still have to act, but you have to do it with your eyes. The way they look, the coldness, quote unquote, no pun intended, all of that made sense, and it gave, to me, a better backstory. Shouts out to my cousin CC Dreams, than Liu Kang's original backstory he had in the Mortal Kombat when Shang Tsung killed his brother. No, I'm not comparing and contrasting. I probably will do it, but I'll try not to. So the opening scene was the basis for the movie, and what it did, it gave an emotional foundation for something that's just really fun. I mean, if anybody played Mortal Kombat, they just punch each other's heads off and do really grotesque moves, liters of blood leaking out, bones breaking, teeth chattering. We know the whole thing. So I enjoyed the opening scene. Now, moving along, that's when we got introduced to our main character for the movie, Cole Young. And of course, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this, definitely watch it or turn it off and come back and watch my video. Cole Young was basically, we end up finding out, a descendant of Scorpion's lineage. And what happened was Sub-Zero murdered his whole family, but they hid a daughter. This happened in like the 1600s. So travel through time, blase, blase, boom, boom, bing, and then you get Cole Young. Now, he's an MMA fighter, and I found that good because he still has that fighter mentality in his blood. Look like he has a daughter and a wife, and he's just trying to really make ends meet by fighting. But he also has this dragon tattoo. Now, this dragon tattoo is not really a tattoo because they asked him, let me see the artwork, and they said it's more like a birthmark. This is something that fighters are born with. And this is one of the changes that I enjoy thoroughly, because in order to compete in Mortal Kombat and fight for your realm, which is Earth Realm, you got to have one of these markings. And the markings basically the Mortal Kombat logo with the dragon in there. But kind of, an Easter egg for Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the second movie that came out back in the day. The dragon symbol, when they were defeated, would kind of fly off their body and then just kind of like disappear. You know what I'm saying? Here, if a fighter defeats another fighter with a dragon tattoo, the tattoo comes on their body, and they end up being one of the chosen. So that kind of, came into line with some of our major characters later on. Now, like I said, as they progress along, they run into Jax, played by, what's his name? Mehcad Brooks. Now, if anybody's seen the movie, what's that Tyler Perry movie? What's the name of it? Deliver Us from Grace? Grace? Anyways, the one where he got the black chick and they milked her for her whole bank account, assets, everything, and he said, "Ashtray, bitch." That was that was him. Completely different character in this. Jax was mellow. He was cool. He was laid back. Definitely a military guy. But I love this adaptation of Jax. This was the best one. This is way better than the dude that played Jax in Annihilation. He had the dragon tattoo, and him and Sonya are looking for Earth Realm warriors so they can gather them together, take on the Raiden's temple and get them prepared for the upcoming battle. So I thought Jax did good, and then that scene where Scorpion, oh my God, they changed Jax's origin. ripped his arms off with ice, y'all. That was some grotesque, nasty shit. And I was there for every drop of blood, every ounce. I enjoyed that scene. Now, once they run into Cole Young, they basically get all the characters together and they're going in search of Raiden's temple. Then we get introduced to Liu Kang. Liu Kang's character was very different from what we know. And some people are going to like it, some people don't. But if you played any of the Mortal Kombat games, and then I just recently started reading some of the Mortal Kombat comic books. And they have a long line of comic books dating back to the 90s. Check them out. Some of them are pretty good. Liu Kang's serious. He was serious in the other movies, but in this, he is a Shaolin monk. And he's serious. And the reason he's serious is because Earthrealm, they've lost 9 Mortal Kombats, one more, and this place is going to turn into a living hell. So I can see why he was serious, and I like that he was being super serious in the movie. Morelli said he was weak, but what I think is they're getting Liu Kang kind of trained up, and this is Scorpion and Sub-Zero's story. Scorpion is the most popular Mortal Kombat character. Do not get it twisted; it's not Liu Kang. He's appeared in every video game. He is the face of Mortal Kombat. It's Scorpion. Sub-Zero basically neck and neck, but Scorpion is the face. So I'm glad that Luke's story took a back burner, and then we got introduced to Kung Lao with the cold ass hat. Look, Kung Lao came out in Mortal Kombat 2, and that was one of my favorite characters to play with. Y'all know down, down, up will have you teleport, and you can jump and kick him, and then you throw that goddamn badass hat. But he was super cool. He was almost like a Mac. He was just laid back. He's like, hey, y'all, you gotta train. You need to learn your haiku or whatever it's called. Get your powers, and you gotta learn it. So they start conducting battles in between, the different combatants, and Kung Lao was just cold. So he was the champion of Mortal Kombat because his ancestor lost to Guru a long time ago. But he was like the leading Earthrealm champion, and they kind of passed that down to Kung Lao. He had a lot on his shoulders, as far as a responsibility. Spoiler alert, Kung Lao got killed. So I think that's why I left the arc for Liu Kang to come, because as we know, we didn't get a tournament, and I'll discuss that a little later on. One of my critiques for the movie I didn't like. Also, we got introduced to Kano. Kano was just a breath of fresh air. He was the comic relief for the whole thing. Kano is just your average gun running, don't care about nobody, will portray the group as anti-hero. I guess he is a villain, but he started off as kind of an anti-hero. Him and Sonya Blade's relationship is a little different. They didn't say that. Now, maybe I missed it. Let me know in the comments. But he didn't kill one of her ex-partners. But he was the leader of the Black Dragon. And, it's their job, the Special Forces, to stop him. So, Kano, one of the highlights, if not probably the best part of this movie, to me, as far as the comedy. When he was going back and forth with Liu Kang and Kung Lao at the table, that was just some epic shit. That was cool. Now, let's get into Shang Tsung. The guy that plays Shang Tsung, I recognize him in a ton of movies. Now, I'm a kid. I remember him in Rush Hour. He was actually the Chinese ambassador's daughter. Yeah, I remember, Chris Tucker was looking for their daughter. He was the father, so I remember him in that. That's pretty much what I remember him in. He did an excellent job. And I'm going to keep it a buck, y'all. It's hard to top the original dude to play Shang Tsung. It's hard to top Christopher Lambert's Raiden because he was already hollering. And Christopher Lambert's so cool. He got the little raspy in his voice. And we're here for Mortal Kombat to save, Earthrealm. And you warriors have to get ready. It is your destiny. That Raiden just on point. But this is better because I'm glad we had the proper representation of these characters. We got the right races together. And really, to me, it gives it a little more authenticity. Also with the fighting. And I watched the little clip, the little extras they have. You can see it on HBO Max. But they explain. This time they got characters. Not that they didn't, because with Liu Kang they did. But they got characters that know martial arts. These dudes know kung fu. These dudes know some form of martial arts, and they've been studying it their whole life. They're also actors, but it just makes it more authentic. I love that. The guy that plays Shang Tsung, I'm ready to see what he can really do. And when he took the soul in this one, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. This is going to be a long review, y'all. I love this. I love Mortal Kombat. Raiden, the guy that played Raiden did good. Very short. He didn't really have too much to say. I like this Raiden. He meant business. He just is coming in, hey, do this, do that. Shang Tsung, get the F out of Earth and go back to Earth. Like he was giving orders. He was a no nonsense Raiden. We got a no nonsense Liu Kang. I like it because it really highlights the seriousness of what's happening for real. Also, we got Rico. Now, Rico, I think he was in Mortal Kombat 4. This was a throwaway character. I knew his ass was going to die as soon as I seen him on screen. Who else did we get that was new? We got Natara. And we got to see a live adaptation of her. I wish we got a little more of her. I love the wings and the vampire ass. She's basically like a living vampire. She was kicking ass too, but we all know what Kung Lao did to her. If you ain't seen it, go back and watch it 3 times. Who did I leave out? Melina. The actress that played Melina did a good job. When she licked the blood off those thighs, I love that they changed the Mortal Kombat. They're playing around with the different races of characters, and that's good because everybody likes to be represented and see somebody that looks like them on screen. If you say you don't, that's really a fucking lie. You're lying. I loved her braids in this. Was waiting to see Katana. They'll probably bring her back on the second one, but Melina did a pretty good job. She didn't have too much screen time, but Shang Tsung does have his like key warriors you see him walking around with in Outworld. Now, speaking of Outworld, we get a lot more Outworld. Outworld got a daytime. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know Outworld has a daytime? I thought that shit was like Alaska where they got, a certain period of time where it's all dark, but apparently it has a daytime, and I love seeing the Outworld segments. I'm hoping in the next movie that we will get a large time spent in Outworld. Because there's a whole bunch of realms, like 7, 8, 9 different realms in Mortal Kombat. And for Scorpion, like when he died, he got sent to the Nether Realm, which is basically hell in Mortal Kombat. But if you ever played the Mortal Kombat that got Shujinku in it, the character that you go around to the different realms, the Chaos Realm, the Realm of Order, it's a whole bunch of different ones. This is what we want to see. This is intriguing. We don't want it all to take place on Earth. We don't want it all to take place in Outworld. So I'm dying to see more of these different realms when the movies progress. Goro. Goro was all CGI, which made sense. We got the animatronic dude, but look, it's technology. When you got CGI, you can do so much more. I think, like, with Goro, like, he's the prince of the Shokan, y'all. Like, for real, he's a big, big deal, especially in the comics. And they have him just as this big brute, basically like a guard dog, but I think they should have gave Goro a little more to do. I like the representation in the old movie of Goro better than this one, just to keep it a buck. And he was talking like hella more cash shit in that last one. When he was talking to Kano at the dinner table, he spilled the wine in his drink and got up in his face and was like, "I'll crush your bones." Like I like that Goro. It was pretty hard. So overall, I'm not going to get into the movie or really what happened here and there, but the biggest thing, my biggest takeaway from it was it wasn't a tournament. Not that I'm upset about that, but I was. Because Mortal Kombat is all about the tournament, defeating the enemy and seeing what happened. In this movie, Outworld's basically trying to cheat like they always do. So they're trying to go through basically and pick off people before they even learn their haiku and their powers. I know it's not called haiku. I got to remember. Anyways, to shoot fireballs and do crazy shit. I'm glad that this movie did that because it's an explanation. We have an explanation. Why can't a man shoot fireballs at his hand? That's a good question. We don't get answers. It's magic. I don't know shit. So I like that they have to train to find out what their powers was. I thought Cole Young's suit was kind of cool. The little body armor and the weapons he had with the little knives on. I thought that was pretty cool. But I understand why they didn't have a tournament. I'm hoping that we get a MKCU, or Mortal Kombat Cinematic Universe. There's probably over 50 plus characters in Mortal Kombat by now with all the video games. Like I said, there's 7 or 8 different realms, and these characters are popular enough, I believe, to carry their own franchises, because even in the video games, we've had games that were separate from the regular mythos. Liu Kang and Kung Lao had Shaolin monks. Sonya Blade and Jax had the video game Special Forces. So we can take these characters and really branch off and do a lot of different stuff. I'm hyped for the second movie because we better get the goddamn tournament. I want to see Shao Kahn. I want to see Shinnok. I want to see the Elder Gods. I want to I'm going super fast because I love Mortal Kombat, y'all. Obviously, you can tell. This is my first video game on Sega. I never forget. It's at my cousin Ricky's house the first time I seen it. And when I seen it, I said, what the hell is this? I must have this in my life. So, check out Mortal Kombat on HBO Max. Sorry, I am 6 years old. I am not 33. I am 6 when I'm having this because I'm having a flashback. Comment on my YouTube channel. Let me know what characters you may want to see in the future. If you enjoyed this movie better than the old one. I don't necessarily like it less. And I may be contradicting myself. That first movie got a special place in my heart. It just is what it is. But standing alone, they're taking Mortal Kombat in a new direction. I don't want to be one of them old farts that, no, I like the old one. I'm coming with the new one. I like the new story mode. I love that we're focusing on Scorpion and different characters other than Liu Kang. We know he's the chosen one. We know what he's gonna do. But I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm about to go watch this shit again. But please like and subscribe. And I will be back for my final review for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Peace.